25 years has been to empower women to be self-sufficient, to earn an income that allows them to support themselves and their families. But unless women are healthy and safe, they can never be truly empowered. So I extend my deepest gratitude to the global community advocacy champions and to Lisa and Teresa for their relentless passion for securing women's safety. And now, a very, very special award. Tonight's Voice for Change Champion Award recognizes a media giant that has taken extraordinary steps to educate and engage a community to face the reality of violence against women. Its dedication to the cause has led to an important dialogue among women and helped to raise funds and awareness about domestic violence. Joining me to present this award is a very special Avon partner, the global ambassador of our Mark brand. She's one of Hollywood's most sought-after actresses and an impressive role model herself for young women everywhere. She is championing our cause to end dating violence and partner abuse. Widely recognized for her role as Alice Cullen in the Twilight Saga, please join me in welcoming our Mark Global Ambassador, Ashley Greene.
Very much, Andrea. Good evening, everyone. I was initially drawn to Avon's Mark brand because I thought that the products were really great, but it was the brand's empowerment message to young women that really got me engaged. I am inspired by the great work being done all over the world by tonight's honorees to end violence against women, and I couldn't be more proud to present the final award tonight, the Voice for Change Champion. In 2010, the media in this country was consumed for a week in June over the death of an exceptional University of Virginia student and allegations that her boyfriend was responsible. Yardley Love, 22 years old, a political science major, didn't seem like the type to be in an abusive relationship. This tragic story and the sobering statistics that every day in the US 4 women are killed by the men in their lives inspired Glamour magazine to commission an exclusive dating violence survey among thousands of women ages 18 to 35. The results, which Glamour reported this June on the 1-year anniversary of Yardley Love's death, were not encouraging. The magazine found that relationship violence is frighteningly common in 2011. 29% said they had been in an abusive relationship. An additional 30% of women experienced abusive behavior in subsequent questions. That means that almost 60% of young women surveyed had actually experienced some form of partner abuse. Glamour's decision to publish difficult and sometimes tragic personal stories may have made readers uncomfortable, but that was the point. And although the journalistic duty to report ended there, Glamour's commitment did not. Another critical finding of Glamour's study was that 24% of women who said they were in abusive relationships had not told anyone, and 37% of women who knew someone in an abusive relationship did not speak up. Compelled to not only report the facts, but to reverse them, Glamour started the Tell Somebody campaign, providing places to turn for help, conversation starters, and reasons to speak up if you suspect your friend is a victim. To ignite a grassroots awareness and fundraising movement, Glamour initiated the Text Now texting campaign, or Tell Now texting campaign, In partnership with Avon's Speak Out Against Domestic Violence program, Glamour promoted a text message fundraising campaign to raise funds for the National Domestic Violence Hotline, which due to budget constraints could only answer 85% of incoming calls from seeking women. Avon was proud to donate $200,000 to the Tell Somebody texting initiative. A voice for women's safety and empowerment, Glamour's editor-in-chief used the magazine to educate and mobilize mobilize women across the country to have conversations about violence, to ask questions of each other, and to step up and donate to keep the National Domestic Violence Hotline staffed to help all women. A major force in the industry, she also serves as the women's lifestyle contributor to NBC's Today Show, where she frequently discusses women's issues ranging from fashion to politics. For speaking out loudly against domestic violence, it is my honor to introduce Glamour's editor-in-chief to accept our Voice for Change Champion Award for the Tell Somebody campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, Cindi Leive.
'Cause we all fall down, get tossed around, and feel like it's the end. We all fall down, but when we get back on our feet again, we take one step at a time. I tell myself it'll be fine, 'cause we all fall down, but we get back up, and that's all that really matters.
Wow, thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Ashley. You guys are both such role models. Andrea, I think we all heard that tidbit earlier about you being the longest-running female CEO in the Fortune 500. That makes you a role model to so many women worldwide, including me. And Ashley, you are really exceptional, in addition to just being a fantastic actress. And by the way, if there are any magazine editors in the room, if you ever put Ashley on your cover, your sales go up. Good to know, I'm just saying. But in addition to that, you really used your platform to speak out on issues of importance to so many young women, and that just makes you a fantastic example. So my hat is off to you, and it's really an honor to hear these words coming in particular from both of you. You might be asking yourself a simple question right about now. Why is a magazine called Glamour writing about relationship violence, which is a dark and not the least bit glamorous reality of many women's lives? Well, it's because for 72 years, Glamour's mission has been to give our 12 million readers the tools that they need to lead happier, healthier, and more fulfilled lives. And as we all know, nothing is more fulfilling than living safe and living free. Over a year ago, in the offices of Glamour, during a discussion about the death of Yardley Love at UVA, one of our editors, Liz Brody, mentioned that in the United States, and this is a stat we've heard a lot tonight, 4 women are killed by a partner every day, and that such intimate partners' deaths have actually risen slightly among single women over the last decade. This was, to be honest, completely baffling to me. Why, in 2011, would rates be going up instead of down? After all, as women, we're clearly no longer second-class citizens in this country. We have our own earning power. Our lives have improved by every marker over the last couple of decades. And one would have thought we're more confident and able to choose the relationships that are best for us than we were decades ago. So why would women be more likely to be killed by their boyfriends than they were, for instance, in the 1970s? Liz Brody asked these questions at that meeting, and from her questions sprang a campaign. In tandem with leading domestic violence networks, we launched, as Ashley mentioned, a survey of young women. And what we learned was astonishing, that more than half of all women we surveyed between 18 and 35 had been hurt by a partner. But we also learned something remarkably empowering, that talking about that kind of partner violence makes a huge difference. Sometimes it's easy to feel that when you talk, all you do is talk. But our survey found that talk makes a difference. 62% of the women we surveyed who had been themselves abused said that having the support and intervention of a friend or a family member or even of a coworker helped them get through that relationship safely. So the goal of the story was to convey 2 simple words to anyone who's being abused or who sees abuse. Tell somebody. Just simply tell somebody. That can admittedly be a really difficult thing for a young woman to do. 37%, and the statistic was up on the screen before, 37% of women in our survey said that they had been in a situation where they saw that abuse was happening and they hadn't reached out to their friend or the person they felt was being victimized. Experts say that no matter how hard it is to do, you should reach out anyway. And as one of those researchers told us, quote, "You may think I'll risk losing her as a friend, but it is far better to do that and keep her alive." I'm happy to say that thanks to our campaign and the media attention surrounding it, more than 400 million people heard that Tell Somebody message. Liz, who's here tonight, and our executive editor, Wendy Noggle, put together a comprehensive package in the magazine helping readers through those situations, telling them what you should say when you suspect abuse or what you should do when it happens to you. They even sat down with Vice President Joe Biden and Dr. Jill Biden for their first ever joint interview to discuss the issue. So this award clearly belongs to Liz and to Wendy for their reporting and their activism. Congratulations, Liz. I'd also like to thank the following organizations that work together in an unprecedented way to conduct this survey: the National Resource Center on Domestic Violence, the National Network to End Domestic Violence, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, Casa de Esperanza, and the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. I always think that as women, one of the things that we really do well is work together, and the fact that all of these different organizations with such different agendas were able to unite here meant so much. I'd also like to thank Yardley Love's family for sharing with Glamour who Yardley really was, which of course was so much more than just a victim or just a symbol. She was a young woman with life and hopes and aspirations, just like any of us. Most of all, thank you to Andrea Jung and to Avon for supporting this campaign. I think you heard before about the tremendous impact their donation meant to so many women, and most of all to Glamour readers who reached out to the magazine to tell us how grateful they were for the coverage here and for the work that each one of you in this room is doing. One reader wrote to us from Montgomery, Indiana, and she said, "I am 18 years old and I've been a victim of domestic violence. I'd been actually having thoughts of returning to my ex-boyfriend, but this article really spoke to me. It made me realize that I do not deserve that treatment." She doesn't, of course. She doesn't. No woman does. Thank you, Avon, for not just believing that truth, but fighting for it.
'Cause we all fall down, get tossed around, and feel like it's the end. We all fall down, but when we get back on our feet again.
Thank you, Cindy, for the incredible work you're doing to mobilize your readers. Congratulations, Liz. I'm now very excited to turn to two very important final awards